right-hander against the right-hander. The outfield is straight up and deep on Fielder. He is the DH today. Swing. There's a drive to left. That one is long gone.
The long gone, a Detroit Tigers podcast. My name is Randy. I'm coming to you from the Pod Jack outside beautiful Bay City, Michigan. And with me is my comrade in this trip. His name is Dennis. What's up, sir?
Oh, man, I've been drinking beer since noon, watching the Tigers. They won 7 straight, and then we've kind of hit a rough patch here. A.J. Hinch fucked the game up tonight, but, whatever. I am Dennis. I am from Midland, Michigan, and this is long gone.
This is long gone, and everybody listening, if you're a Tigers fan or a sports fan or a baseball fan in general, what you need to do since we're just starting out, go ahead and tell all your friends about us. That's the best thing you could possibly do. Don't just stand there like the house by the side of the road and watch this one go by. We want to stick around for a great long while. So,
I bet you guys have a friend in Skidway Lake that would love to listen to this podcast.
That's a beautiful area, Dennis. Beautiful area.
It is a beautiful area. So this is the first episode of Long Gone. This is an idea that me and Randy had about 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago that we were kind of dreaming this idea up, and we felt that today would be the best time to start it all out.
Randy, here it is. Because the Tigers are rebuilding, and, we're rebuilding too. We're trying to rebuild our lives into something more meaningful. And we're hoping this podcast gives it that meaning, right?
Give us a reason to live, goddammit.
Justify our existences.
So I guess my first question, Randy, is how long have you been a Tigers fan, and why do you continue to be a Tigers fan?
I have been, well, the why is probably because I'm a glutton for punishment. Let's just put it out there.
You have a fetish for pain.
I do have a fetish for pain. I mean, listeners know that the Tigers had a real successful streak for a while there.
Yeah.
But surrounding all that is a whole bunch of pain and suffering.
So I'm not sure how old you are. Are you the same age as me? I'm 44.
Roughly. I'm 39, about to turn 40. So.
Okay, so you've experienced the same kind of years as a Detroit Tiger fan. So the last time we won a world championship was 1984, obviously. Mm-hmm. Anybody that's listening to this show knows that. 84.
The last time we should have won a world championship was 2012 and also 2006, but
2006 for sure. We should have beat the Cardinals. 2012 we lost to the Padres. Giants,
yeah.
That guy, the relief pitcher for the Giants that year, Romo, is that his last name?
Yeah.
His dancing around on the mound after they won is embedded into my heart, in my soul, and it hurts, and I hate him. And if there was an illegal purge, that's probably who I would kill.
You're up, Sergio.
Yeah.
Oh, I think you might want to step back, Dennis. Don't get us canceled already.
Okay. Back it up. Rewind. Ooh. Producer, play the rewind sound. Sound.
Thank you so much.
I am intoxicated right now. I don't know how else I can say that, but yeah. So you understand that we haven't had a world championship since 1984. We won the pennant in 87. And then it was a dark timeline from 87 to 2006.
Yeah, we were the worst team in baseball perpetually.
We were the Pittsburgh Pirates before the Pittsburgh Pirates were the Pittsburgh Pirates. Say that fast 10 times.
I know, man. And it seemed like that was going to be the way it was for the rest of our days. The Tigers were going to be the basement dwellers.
We were never going to win again.
The laughing stock. And then all of a sudden, they turned a corner. And I think it happened with one Pudge Rodriguez. Would you agree?
Well, see, that's a touchy subject with me.
Here we go.
So I know that Pudge was the first free agent that we signed. Well, technically that we signed. We brought Juan Gonzalez in a year or two before that.
Oh my God! Listen. This is my gripe with the Stripes here. So everyone says that Pudge was, well, maybe not Dennis, but everyone other than Dennis thinks that Pudge was maybe the turnaround that made all the free agents come, and that was the beginning of glorious days, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, young me in 1999 thought that Juan Gonzalez was going to be the answer.
Yes.
I was so excited.
Absolutely. I thought so too.
He got traded to the Tigers. The year before, he had 100 RBI before the All-Star break. The first player to do that since one Hank Greenberg, Tigers fans. So I had stars in my eyes. I thought, well, this is great.
Hold on. Time out. He was the first person to have 100 RBIs?
Before the All-Star break.
Oh, before. Okay. I missed that part. Okay.
I mean, listening is an acquired skill, Dennis, and I just need you to have that.
I will promise to try to listen for the rest of this episode.
Okay, I like that. I like that promise. So he was a 2-time MVP. He has all these accolades. I'm like, this is it. He gets to the Tigers and he's the drizzling shits.
Well, first off, though, we're missing the big part. He asked for the fences to be brought in. He was the first diva of divas.
Yes. In order for any contract extension discussions to be had, he wanted the fences brought in.
Listen, I could hit 30 home runs or I could hit 55. Just bring the fences in.
You just got to bring them in. Make those outfields 200 feet.
In the meantime, he didn't even get close to fucking 30 home runs with the Tigers in his stint.
No, he did not. And it was the worst. He missed a good chunk of the season because he had all this back pain. And I don't know. Maybe he did. Maybe he didn't. But God, that ruined my starry eyes.
Did you take all your Juan Gonzalez baseball cards outside and rip them up?
I did not, but I probably should have.
Do you still have them? Did you know that he has 13 kids?
No, I'm not.
He has 13 kids.
This is the segment of the program we call Juan Gonzalez Facts. No, I did not know that.
I'm pretty sure he does. I might be making that up. I don't know.
Okay, well, I'm gonna hold it to be true because in my heart I believe it.
I'm pretty sure that I'm correct. Growing up, who was your favorite Detroit Tiger fan? Detroit Tiger fan. Who was your favorite Detroit Tiger fan, Randy?
My favorite Detroit Tiger fan was my cousin. Boy, did he root for those Tigers real hard. My favorite.
Good job, cousin.
Yeah, good job, cousin. I mean, growing up when I was a kid and into my early 20s, it was Bobby Higginson. I like the combination of Tony Clark and Bobby Higginson.
Okay, I dig
that was really my sweet spot when I was watching the Tigers back in the day.
I would say that Bobby Higginson was probably my favorite Tiger during the 90s era.
Yeah.
From like 93 to 99 or whatever. He just seemed like the embodiment of what the 80s Tigers were all about.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And he
wasn't super talented, but he had a lot of heart and he did a lot with that heart.
Yeah, and he had that one really great season where it looked like he was going to make the All-Star team, and he lost out to one Maglio Ordonez.
Oh, I hate that guy.
That guy provided one of the best moments in my life watching the Tigers.
The 1-0, swinging a fly ball, left field, it's deep, it's way back! The Tigers are going to the World Series! 3-run walk-off home run! Oh, man! Ordonez around third! He's into a box at home! The Tigers have beat the A's 6-3, completed a 4-game sweep in one of the greatest turnarounds in baseball history.
Yes, absolutely. So, I think I came out of my mom's vagina as a Detroit Tigers fan.
Fair enough.
I don't remember a time when I was not thinking about the Tigers, hoping that the Tigers would win. And at some points, I've been told that I can't watch the Tigers because my health is deteriorated because of it. My anger and my anxiety and my emotions are tilted very much by the Detroit Tigers. So fast forward to 2006, Detroit Tigers playing the Oakland Athletics. One Maglio Ordonez with his beautiful locks.
Oh, yes.
And he hit that home run. And I'm not a religious person, but I fell to my knees and I screamed, God, yes! And my stepmom at the time was very, very confused. And she looked at my dad and she said, is he okay? And my dad, and I remember this for the rest of my life. I remember it like it was yesterday. He said, he's been waiting for this for so long.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that was such a great moment. I was in the living room of my parents' house, and I fell to the floor cheering, and I watched Placido Polanco round third base with that ridiculous head
such a
scarf.
stupid fucking.
Amazing.
That was a great time. So when the celebration began, do you remember that baseball coming out of nowhere from like left field? As all the relief pitchers are running towards home plate?
No.
Okay, so watch the replays. There's a ball that comes out of nowhere. It's a mysterious ball that comes out of nowhere, and no one has ever addressed this. And, and I just need to know who threw it.
The Great Conspiracy.
That's so bookmark this part of the show, guys, and then we'll all try to find out who threw that ball.
Yeah. If you were the man or woman who threw that ball during that celebration, we want to know. We'll have you on the podcast. We'll interview you because I have some questions.
I have some questions too. One, how did you throw it so far up in the air to perfectly land and almost hitting the relief pitchers? It was amazing. But do you remember? Okay, so we're all over the place right now because this is the first episode. We want to get all this shit out, right? I think.
Yeah, I think it's fairly linear. I think the people can follow along.
Do you remember when the Tigers defeated the Yankees and they came out and celebrated with the crowd?
I do remember that. That was bookmarked in my mind with the dominant Kenny Rogers performance.
Yes.
That, like, I've never seen a pitching performance like that in my life. Like, I've seen no hitters and I've seen almost perfect games, but something about that pitching performance really just is number one in my mind.
He became like Cy Young. He became like Steve Carlton.
Oh, man. And I just remember Kenny Rogers, being interviewed after the game about what he did. And it was like he was in a different universe. Like, he was just still laser focused and wasn't quite coming down from that adrenaline high yet. It was great.
Now, do you remember that there was maybe some hijinks? He had some tar on his hands.
I do remember some unknown substances possibly on his forearm, but you know what? It's the Yankees. I don't really care.
Yeah, they probably like 4 out of 9 hitters were on steroids at that time. So I think it all levels out.
I mean, and let's face it, they're still cracking down on quote unquote sticky stuff with pitchers. So whatever.
They crack down. This is our MLB portion of the conversation.
Yeah.
They've taken away spider tack. Is that what they call it?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
They took away all of the cheating methods so badly that Trevor Bauer raped a woman to get out of the league.
I mean, he realized he was no good.
I'm out.
I mean, people suspected he was a stupid shit before, so he was like, you know what? I'm really going to prove to everyone what an asshole I truly am.
So now we fast forward to 2021. a rebuilding season, if you ask me. But Al Avila says that the team is no longer rebuilding.
Yeah, I find that interesting because, boy, if you would have looked around to any sort of website that talked about baseball in any way, shape, or form, you would have thought the Tigers were the next harbinger of the apocalypse with their how horrible they were. I mean, my God, this team was like lambasted for being a complete disaster, the worst team in baseball. Everyone was calling Al Avila a complete failure. All of a sudden, they're no longer rebuilding.
It's weird how that happens after 7 games of winning, right?
It's funny because I remember that time in May, and they kind of seemed like a complete disaster.
When they were like 9-26 or something.
Yeah, but a funny thing happened, and I'm gonna put a lot of the credit on AJ Hinch's shoulders. I think this team obviously is not built to win a World Series. However, they play hard every single night.
They don't give up.
They don't give up, and I give a lot of that credit to AJ Hinch. They, in my mind, they love playing for that man.
You know what? I honestly agree. I've often wondered if AJ Hinch had ended up in New York instead of Detroit, where New York would be right now. Because the Yankees clearly have a lot more talent on the main roster, but for some reason they're not playing to their talents.
Yeah, I mean, the Tigers are record-wise, in terms of wins, catching up with the Angels and St. Louis and the Cleveland Guardians. And, I mean, and they probably shouldn't be.
Oh, absolutely. They're not a playoff team right now. So the last 7 games have been great. They've been fun to watch. Mm-hmm. It's nice to see the players laughing and smiling and high-fiving. But at the end of the day, the reality is this. We're 2 years away from winning anything. We're 2 players away from making a wild card run next year.
Yeah, and I think the pitching, you've seen glimpses of it being there. And obviously, it's probably going to get better with experience. Like tonight, Casey Mize did something that I really appreciated. He was dominating the game, gave up a run, and acted like it was the worst thing that possibly could have happened. It was like somebody reached around and punched his mother. He was so pissed off about it, and I appreciate that. It wasn't just a ho-hum thing for him. Sure, he turned around and gave up a 3-run home run after that, but he cares.
Here's the deal with that, though, and I said it on Twitter. That was on Hinch. That was AJ's. Yeah. The previous inning, you could tell that Mize's arm was dead. He was throwing a lot of balls. He was throwing a lot of pitches out of the zone. He just looked done. And at that point in the 4th inning, he was at like 65 pitches, I think.
Yeah.
And
well, I thought it was curious, too, because his leash the past 4 games has been like around 50-ish pitches before he gets yanked.
But you could tell that he was laboring in the previous inning. And I said it before the 3-run homer. I said, take him out now or you're going to lose this game. And lo and behold, boom. It's like they don't understand that I play MLB 2021 constantly. I understand the metrics of pitching.
You get it. You should be on the bench with AJ Hinch.
Listen, I have a beer belly. I barely move. I'm built for managing baseball teams.
You're practically a younger version of Gene Lamont. Let's face it.
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome. So Avila said, and I quote, "Right now we have no pressure at all to make any trades."
Which is true.
Yes, we don't have the type of high salary, aging player that we need to trade to rebuild per se. We're on the upswing. We're actually hoping to acquire players at some point where and when it makes sense.
That's That part is the most interesting of the comments. Because
I agree.
One, He's basically saying we don't really have anybody that we can trade. Scope we could trade maybe, but we're not going to get a lot for him.
Yes.
Because he's a free agent. Attaining talent in the future tells me he's kind of showing his hand a little bit.
Yes, and this is what I was curious about, because this is what I feel like they need to do at this point. It's interesting because I feel like he said what I've been thinking they need to do, and that's spend money.
Yes.
They have all those hot young prospects in the minors waiting to come up, but they still need a couple veteran bats. Like right now, if you had a couple impact sluggers, it'd be a different team.
Absolutely. Who would you go after? Do you have anybody in your mind?
I might have to bring up the free agent list. I know Carlos Correa is a free agent, and you think, oh, he's a shortstop and he's got the hinge ties. Maybe.
Yeah, and that's been a huge a rumor that he's probably going to end up in Detroit.
Yeah, I'm still hoping because I'm a fanboy for Verlander to come back. So there's that.
I think, Verlander will end up in Detroit before his career is over with. I would like to see Verlander. He's not going to win. So he's stuck on this idea that he's going to get to 300 wins, and it's not going to happen. Not after losing this season. So what I would really love to see Justin Verlander do is convert to a fucking badass closing pitcher who comes in for the last inning and throws 100 miles an hour for 3 batters and just strikes them out.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think his future is going to be eventually in the bullpen. Whether or not he chokes on that pill next year when he comes back, I don't know. But it's in. Oh, I'm looking at the list now. Apparently, Freddie Freeman's a free agent. I didn't know that.
Okay.
Chris Bryant.
Chris Bryant's going to end up in Boston by the end of the season. Probably signs a deal with Boston. That's what my guess is.
I could see that. This is a shitty list, so I don't know. Trevor Story's a free agent.
That was another rumored interest, but everyone's interested in Trevor Story.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think JD Martinez is up not this year, but next year, so that might be a thing. Who knows?
What about Max Scherzer?
Max Scherzer would be very interesting to me too, because he really hasn't missed a beat at all. He's been so fucking dominant.
He's been so good for so long that even on this off year, and when I say off year, he's like his record's not a winning record because, well, they're not winning.
Yeah.
But his ERA and his strikeouts are still right there.
Yeah, his ERA is still under 3 right now, I think. So he's had such an amazing career, and I don't think people realize how great he's been for so long.
It's crazy how good he's been for so long. I remember when we first picked him up from Arizona, I want to say.
Yeah. Yep, Arizona.
Yeah, and there was a lot of people saying that he would never become a great pitcher because of the way he delivered the ball, that it was a very violent delivery. But this guy has thrown 2 no-hitters. He's won like 3 Cy Youngs. And this is why I don't listen to experts. They don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, even with his mid-30s age, he's still been so dominant. It's crazy. And the only thing that worries me a little bit about him is this year he's starting to have little minor injuries here and there. But still, I would love to have him on my team. Just having a guy like that on the staff also, so that...
Could you imagine him teaching Mize and Manning and Skubal?
Yeah, I mean, just having that presence that's kind of what Kenny Rogers did for Verlander,
For sure. I have a question about the announcing on this team. Is Matthew Shepard the worst fucking baseball announcer in the history of baseball?
He's definitely no Mario Impemba. And it's sad to think that we had a baseball announcer that would engage in fisticuffs and headlocks with their broadcast partner.
I I always think about that announce team with Mario and Rod just sitting next to each other, and I always picture Rod pulling out like a knife and like flipping it out and just like mimicking the throat.
Yeah.
But so there's rumors that Matthew Shepard and Jack Morris don't get along, and there was kind of this thing tonight on the game. I don't know if you noticed it, but Jack said something, Matt said something, and then Jack kind of underneath Matt's talking, he kind of corrected him, like really subtly, like it was a name. Shepard said someone's name, and Jack was like, "No, it's Campbell," or something. I don't even remember what it was, but there was this really underlying passive aggressiveness that I was like, "Oh shit,
Okay.
who's gonna throw the chair?"
Well, two things. One, anytime I think of Rod Allen about to attack Mario and Pemba, I always think he's about to say, "You done crossed the line this time, partner."
I see you, boy.
I see you. I see you in Pemba. And also, I don't know.
I was watching clips of Tigers games tonight,
Uh-huh.
and Pudge hit a home run, and Rod Allen said this sentence: "I see you, little Pudgy."
High fly ball, deep in the left. Did he do it? It's gone. It's a walk-off home run for Pudge, and the magic continues. Go ahead on, little Pudgy one. I'm speechless.
I see you, little Pudgy. What the fuck?
Yeah. I mean, well, he's the whole reason I liked Marcus Thames as a baseball player. The fact that Rod Allen called Marcus Thames country strong was my favorite thing ever. So
He also had he had this fetish of just standing there at the batting cages watching.
yeah.
You remember that? He talked about
Yeah.
standing at the batting cages.
Yeah, he just name dropped like a motherfucker. And to go back to your point about Shep and Jack Morris, I kind of think that Jack Morris kind of has like an abrasive sort of personality. That's just what I gather.
Yeah, I could see that for sure.
I'm not sure it's anything that Shepard has done. I just think that's kind of who he is.
Yeah, I can see that. He thinks of himself as the Hall of Famer with a no-hitter and a couple World Championships.
I mean, because him and Gibby together are pretty good.
I see a lot of online dislike for Gibby.
Oh, that's an awful take.
It's such a horrible take because one, the dude is suffering from a horrible disease.
Yes.
Two, the dude still knows fucking baseball. I was watching 4 nights ago the game where who hit it? All I know is that he knew that ball was it was Miguel Cabrera. He hit that bloop single where Scope scored from first base. But he's seen the ball hit the bat, and he's seen where and we don't have the full vantage point of the cameras. We only see where the ball lands or where it's hit. He's seen how the ball hit the bat, and he knew exactly where the ball was going. And as Scope was rounding second, he said, "Go!" Because he knew the outfielder, the center fielder, and the shortstop was not going to get the ball. And I was like, okay, this guy has a hard time communicating simple things. What the game of baseball is so ingrained into his mind and his heart that he is so much smarter than all of us.
Yeah. I have a soft spot for Gibby because back in 2002 and 2003, he was an announcer with the Tigers with Josh Lewin, I think it was.
Those were the best commentating TV years for sure.
Oh, 100%, because those teams were fucking shit.
Horrible.
But it was they made it so entertaining. I mean, they talk about baseball. They'd also talk about a lot of other things.
Yeah, Josh was kind of a nerd. He was Yeah.
Yeah, and they were just so entertaining. So when Gibby was announced to come back, I was so excited because I flashed back to that time and I'm like, yes, do that. As far as Shep goes, like, you're not the first person I've heard that has said that he's the worst at his job.
He's just so boring.
Yeah, and that's I've heard a lot of people say that. I don't necessarily mind him. I kind of respect the fact that this is his dream. His dream has come to life.
I get that.
He's the biggest Michigan sports fanboy there ever was. So he's just kind of living his dream. I'm sure there's plenty of other play-by-play guys that are a lot more talented.
It's my dream too, Randy. It's my team. Dream.
Maybe this podcast will propel you into that spot. I'll be your analyst. Oh, just imagine how many times we'll get fines from the FCC for saying the fuck word. But speaking of the trade deadline, do you think Scope gets traded?
You know, I've been reading the trade rumors, and I just don't see where he fits anybody. I don't see where. I mean, yeah, he's got a good bat. He's a good defenseman. I just don't see how he's going to help a championship caliber team. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't see him fitting in many places either, and that's the problem.
And the thing is, we're going to need someone pretty decent for him, which doesn't make any sense because I just said that he doesn't fit with a championship team, but he's also valuable enough for us that we can't just give him away for nothing.
Yeah.
But we're not going to get anything of great stature. We're not going to get a draft pick. We're not going to get a high
prospect.
We're not going to get anything from. I mean, what we would get from him is something that we'd probably use for a season. But there's nothing that tells me that it's beneficial.
I agree with that. Like, I don't know, a month ago I would have said, "Oh yeah, Scope's gone. He's going." But now they're winning and they're having fun, and
that's the thing, that you can see that they're legitimately having a lot of fun.
And I think that's a lot of it too. I think that's why they're playing way beyond what they should be, because they're actually having fun. It's not a miserable atmosphere there.
Yeah, I agree. What do you think Hinch is telling them? Like, how is he changing the narrative in the dugout, in the locker room? What is Hinch doing differently than what Ron was doing?
Well, I think Ron was hired to be kind of a transition person.
So he wasn't trying to win or lose. He was just trying to get the ship to the next.
Yeah, and I think he understood that. I think I don't know. If you have that in your head that you're kind of a bridge to something better, I don't know that you're going to put in your A effort.
You're just complacent.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. And Hinch, I mean, he had that year off of baseball for the whole cheating scandal with the Astros. But when he was hired as the Astros manager, he inherited a talented Astros team, but they were all young and inexperienced and didn't know what they were doing.
Right.
The Tigers, as far as the hitters go, they're not necessarily all young, but I don't know. I guess that's the mark of a good manager. Like, if you look at the 2006 Tigers, they weren't the most talented lineup in the league. Somehow Leland got them to mesh together and become something better. And I think Hinch somehow has that ability too.
I've tried to figure out what happened in that 2006 season. That the previous year there were 71 and 91.
Yeah.
Under Alan Trammell. Basically the same team.
Yeah.
Really? I mean, there was a few exceptions. Chris Shelton came out of nowhere.
Sure.
And Verlander was a bigger presence. But for the most part, why did they jump 22 games or 23 games? And it has to be Leland.
It's got to be
just the way he managed in the dugout.
So in my day job, I'm not going to say what I do, but I've witnessed a lot of.
He's a porn star.
Oh, well, I've witnessed a lot of people recently give presentations. These are people who are with big companies, and they give presentations to sell. And these people are able to be so charismatic and unbelievably good at their jobs at selling you whatever bullshit they need to sell that all I can do is just stand up and clap. I'm like, you are excellent at your job. And I think that's what a good manager does. He not necessarily sells bullshit, but he's a salesman of some sort,
Well, if you're a Pittsburgh Pirate manager, you're selling bullshit for sure.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, though. Like with Leland and Hinch, they're totally different managers.
Sure.
Leland was very charismatic. I don't think Hinch is charismatic at all. I think he's more of by the book, sabermetrics, numbers, that kind of manager.
Maybe he is fond of the up and downs in utilizing that farm system for sure.
And maybe that's why we've had more success this year with him, because the players that we have now are younger and understand that version of the baseball game over what Gardenhire was coaching.
Yeah, that could be.
It's interesting.
It is interesting. I don't think they trade Scope at this point.
I don't think they trade anyone, honestly.
No, I don't need Willie Peralta.
They might trade Peralta just because he's been on a hot streak, and pitching arms are coveted during this stretch.
I would be all right with that. That's okay.
Yeah, and we're not going to get anything of substance for him.
No, but at the same time, he's almost irrelevant with all the arms they have. And
so what are your surprises for the season?
Well, overall, I'm very surprised on how well the team has played as a whole. I'm surprised at how quickly Casey Mize and Tariq Skubal have come along.
So we talked about this earlier before the season even started. I had some doubts.
Yeah.
I had some doubts about Mize and Skubal.
Yeah.
And they've shoved those doubts right down my throat. Not so much Skubal, but Mize. He looks like he's been pitching for 10 years at points in his game.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing because last year they both were up, and Skubal looked like by far he was the superior pitcher. He had more poise, and
he does have a stronger arm. I think he has the potential to be the 250 strikeout guy. I don't think Mize is going to be that guy.
I don't either, but somehow I think Mize is going to be the Verlander and Skubal will be the Scherzer. I know that's a hack thing to say, but I think it's true.
I think that's true too. Where does Manning? Do you think Manning is going to end up being something?
Yeah, I think he does.
I'm torn on him.
Yeah, I know. I am too, but I think he does. I could almost see him as a Rick Porcello type.
Okay. That's a solid pitcher.
Yeah, and that's what I think he'll be, a solid pitcher, not necessarily somebody that you're going to be like, oh, he's pitching tonight, we're winning this game.
So you're slotting him at probably like a number 3 or number 4 starter.
Yeah, 3 or 4.
And who's your number 1, Mize or Skubal?
I think it's going to be Mize in my mind.
Mize is going to be your ace.
Yeah, I think Mize is the ace and Skubal's the solid 2.
Yeah, I think I like that. Sucks. This week we found out that Spencer Turnbull will have to have Tommy John surgery.
Yeah, he's a guy that really intrigues me too because he seems to have gotten so good out of nowhere.
It sucks because the previous years he was part of the teams that were losing. He lost 17 games the year before, lost more games than anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And then this year something clicked and he just realized how to pitch.
Yeah.
And then your arm falls off.
Right. I mean, it's a good thing these days that Tommy John surgery usually means you come back stronger than ever.
Is that what it is now?
I don't know. That's what I like to think. It seems like there's a lot more successes these days than failures when they come back. So hopefully.
Sure. So Jake Rogers was also put on the injured reserve this week, also with possible Tommy John surgery. And he was part of. So there's in any good team or any decent team, there's a heart of the team, and I think Jake Rogers was part of that heart.
Mm-hmm.
I also think Robbie Grossman is part of that. I think he is one of the reasons why this team is as good as they are. And I don't know how you feel about this, and I sent you the message about it, but Grossman reminds me a lot of Kirk Gibson.
Yeah, you sent me that, and I thought about it, and I agree with that. He's got a lot of grit and determination, and he's having arguably the best year of his career.
Yeah, he's at like 14 or 15 home runs right now, and that's a
yeah,
career high.
He might be a 2020 guy this year, and he never has been before.
He's just having a breakout season, and I think that we're not giving him enough credit for this team.
No, I feel like he sets the pace for the team.
And I fear that he's going to get traded. I don't want to say that out loud because I don't want to put it out there in the atmosphere, but he has so much good about him, like the way even if he doesn't get a hit, even if he doesn't get a walk, he works the pitcher so much, and that's a really important lost art in this game. And I fear that a team like the Yankees want him.
Yeah, I could see the Yankees wanting him. Well, I mean, it is a lost art, and I feel like this team has been a lot better than in teams past of having some plate discipline.
For sure. Yeah. Like there was years where walks weren't even, people are like, what is a walk? You know?
Right. And you can tell this team is built a lot differently because
they're built like a National League team.
Yeah. Robbie Grossman, as I said, might have a 2020 season. In years past, he'd be lucky if a Tigers team even totaled 20 stolen bases as a team in a season.
Absolutely. That brings up they're second in stolen bases right now in the American League with 62.
That's amazing, and I love it because
we hadn't had 60 during the 2006 to 2012 reign of terror that the Tigers were on.
Yeah.
I don't think we had 60 stolen bases that whole time.
Probably not. If you look back, probably not.
We had Johnny Damon for a couple years. He might have had 20 stolen bases during that time. Other than that, maybe Cameron Maben.
Wait, you're forgetting about the spark plug, Quentin Berry, which is a name for the past.
Oh, wait. Actually, yeah, he was fat. Okay. So maybe we might have approached 60 in 6 years, but we got 62 in 1 year, and that blows my mind. And that's AJ Hinch for sure being okay. So I think the Astros are a National League team. I keep thinking that the Astros are a National League team. They're not, but they play a National League style of baseball.
No, they used to be a National League team. That's why you're confused.
Yeah, I know. And the Milwaukee Brewers were a National League team. Now they're National League. It doesn't make any sense. Also, if I may,
you may.
To the MLB 2021 show creators, how could you do Prince Fielder so wrong? He is the fattest fucking player on that game. It's horrible.
Wait, why is he in the game?
Well, they have like legends and heroes and all this shit.
All right.
And my Diamond team played him today, and he came up. He could bear. He was like dragging his bat to the plate, and he tripped over his stomach. And I was like, "Come on, guys! He has a brain aneurysm or something. He had to quit because of his neck or something. It was ridiculous."
Yeah. The one thing I remember about Prince Fielder, watching him play
at third base.
Well, there was that. Yeah, the fact that he lacked any fundamentals when it came to base sliding. Like he skipped that class.
Yeah, that was horrible. I stuck up for him because I'm a Tiger true and true, but
sure,
that's fucking horrible.
Whenever I went to a game in person and he was at bat and he hit a pop up, That motherfucker was a mile in the air every time. It was the highest pop-up you could ever have.
Mom, that ball's on fire!
Exactly.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those were good times.
Speaking of MLB The Show 2020 or MLB 20, whatever it was called, that was that was the only thing I had during lockdown last year. So I played the shit out of it. And I signed, obviously, I played as the Tigers, and there was a free agent on the, just sitting there on the waiver wire named Victor Abreu, who was 21 years old, and he had like all this power. So I signed him, and I played half a season, and he had like 46 home runs already.
Jesus. 46 home runs and a half?
Yes. Yeah.
So I've been playing MLB The Show 21, and I've been rebuilding the team. I haven't traded any of the prospects yet, but for somehow, I don't know how I've accumulated these talents, but I have Shohei Ohtani. I have Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Oh my gosh.
And I have the Cincinnati Reds first baseman. Can't think of his name right now. And I have Shane Bieber as well.
Oh, okay.
And I'm under payroll. We're still losing a lot of games, but I blame that on me because I don't know how to play. But yeah, so there was no point to that, but
well, I appreciate it nonetheless.
Maybe during the off season we'll play MLB The Show and talk about that.
That's a good idea. I like that. Since you brought up the Reds, that brings up another interesting name in the free agent list for next year. One, Nicholas Castellanos.
Good idea. Good question. So I think he would have been traded this year.
Yeah.
But then he broke his wrist.
Yeah.
So there's going to be probably some skepticism about trading for him. Although if I'm a team that's trying to get to the first place or trying to get a bigger lead, I would take a waiver on it. I would try.
Mm-hmm. But he is a free agent next year. Do you think the Tigers make a play?
No.
No?
No, there's no room for him. I don't think. Because,
probably not.
I mean, because he plays in the position that Baду plays in, right?
Yeah, and I guess it all depends on whether or not you believe in Akil Baddoo. Do you, Dennis, believe in Akil Baddoo?
I don't know if I am 100% sold on him, but I love the story. I love how he plays. He plays with a lot of heart, and that goes a long way with me because I'm used to losing anyways. So I mean, as long as you're playing with heart, man, and that kid loves baseball, and
yeah.
I think he's part of the reason why we're where part of the reason why we're where we are, and is he the real deal? I don't know. But
I mean, there's been a lot of talk about him winning Rookie of the Year, which I'm not sure I agree with.
I would do it. I would vote for him for sure. Because I guess I would have to look at the other players that are in the game for it. But based on what the Tigers are doing this year, I think a lot of it has to do with him.
Mm-hmm.
So that has to be, kind of considered. I know he's not hitting a lot of home runs like he was in the early season, but I don't know. He's creating a lot of havoc, I think.
Yeah, he's had a really interesting season where he came out of literally nowhere to make the team, and then he was probably the most exciting player in baseball for the first 2 weeks.
For sure.
And then the learning curve hit, and he struggled, and then he all of a sudden learned how to adjust to that.
Yeah, he figured it out.
Yeah.
He's learning how to play the game in front of like thousands of people.
And he's only 22 years old.
22 years old.
Gives me a lot of hope. I think in the long term, I believe in Akil Baddoo.
I absolutely do too. I think he's the heart. He and Grossman, Mize, those are the things that we build upon to become. Because we can't just buy players, because a lot of players aren't going to just sign contracts for money. A lot of players are just going to sign contracts with big teams like the Yankees, the Red Sox. So we have to have a heart of the team.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. We'll pick up a free agent here and there, but they're not going to be the studs, the aces.
Mm-hmm. So would you vote Akil Baddoo as Rookie of the Year over Casey Mize?
Oh, man.
Because Casey Mize is in consideration as well.
Yeah, he has to be, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Why not co-Rookie of the Years?
Sure.
Who was the last Tiger to win the Rookie of the Year? Do you know?
Was it? It was Fulmer, wasn't it?
Oh, it was Fulmer. Who was it before that?
Verlander.
And then?
I don't know.
Lou Whitaker, I think.
Was it?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm gonna check up on my Michael Fulmer thing.
Don't fact check me! God damn it! Don't fact check me.
I'm not. Yeah, Fulmer was Rookie of the Year in 2016, and boy, oh boy, did I think he was gonna have such the best career ever.
So where is he at now? Is he in the minor leagues, or was he just cut? Because
he got hurt.
So he got hurt again.
Yeah, he's been dealing with an injury. Oh my God, he won Rookie of the Year in 2016 and was an All-Star in 2017. I have a signed baseball card from him because I was so excited.
That guy was awesome. The story with him is even better because he won Rookie of the Year and then he was a janitor or something after.
He was a plumber. He in the off season he promised his buddy he would help with his buddy's plumbing business. And so that's what he did. He was a man of his word and
it's crazy.
Was in Ohio fixing pipes and whatnot.
That is crazy. Are there okay, so this is a horrible way to end a show, but who is the worst Detroit Tiger of all time? Who is the one Tiger that you just was like, no, don't put him at bat or don't pitch him?
Oh, that's easy for me.
Is it?
Yeah, it was Ryan Rayburn.
Really?
Oh, I hated Ryan Rayburn.
Now, why did you hate Ryan Rayburn?
Because he
was a decent player.
No, he wasn't. Because every time I watched him strike out so many times, he was out in the outfield in one game, and I swear to God, a ball bounced off his head or something, and it lost the game.
Yeah, that did happen.
I mean, he was every fucking time that there was a pivotal moment in the game, I swear to God, Ryan Rayburn came up to bat, and he was just the scapegoat every time. So I just learned to hate him. I'm like, you suck, sir. How about you? What do you got?
It's going to be the most polarizing answer of all time. People are going to fucking be irate with this. But my all-time unfavorite player is Brandon Inge.
Oh, I could see that.
Because this motherfucker check swinged his goddamn swing every fucking time. And I was just like, just swing the bat, dude. But I will say he probably was one of the better fielding players.
Do you remember when Miggy got traded to the Tigers and Brandon Inge saw his third base spot getting taken by Miguel Cabrera?
Yeah.
And Inge was like, well, whatever happens. Like, if he needs tips on how to play third base, I'll give it to him. I'm like, listen, dude, you're Brandon Inge. That's Miguel Cabrera.
You got shitty arm tattoos. Just sit down.
Yeah. It was a young Miguel Cabrera, but he was still Miguel Cabrera back then. So just relax.
Just simmer down now, son.
In additional news about Brandon Inge, I went to Tigers Fest one year.
Okay.
And Brandon Inge signed one of my baseballs.
Nice.
Yeah. And
when did he sign it?
What?
How did he sign it? Just his name, or was there anything like?
No, just his name.
Oh.
Well, I walked up to the thing and like before that, I had a baseball signed by Johnny Peralta, who I tried to talk to, and he didn't understand a single word I was saying. So after that, I was like, well, I guess I'm not talking to any baseball players. So I got up to Brandon Inge, and he started saying words to me, and I was not comprehending the fact that he was saying words to me. And
you became whatever Johnny Peralta was.
Yeah, absolutely. So he said like 3 entire sentences to me, and I said, huh? I was that guy. I was allegedly starstruck in front of Brandon Inge.
Oh, you were starstruck from?
That's what I'm chalking it up to. I don't know. But and he repeated himself. He's like, well, do you want me to make it out to somebody? He goes, are you selling this on eBay or something? I'm like, no, I'm not.
Okay,
like,
so
okay, cool.
So
he
I'll
just signed his name and.
So I'll give you we'll end the show with my story about how I covered opening day for the Tigers. It was Travis Fryman's last season.
Oh my gosh.
I think it was his last season, or maybe it was just the first time he was coming to Comerica Park after being traded.
Okay.
So he was with the Cleveland Indians. I was with the Midland Daily News, if you are familiar with that newspaper. And we went down there.
Not to interrupt, but how did you get that job? How does one get a job to write about the Detroit Tigers?
Okay, okay. Funny thing is, I was hired there for the sports stringer job, which is basically just answering phone calls for high school sports.
Okay.
But nobody wanted to cover the Tigers on opening day.
Okay.
I think it was 2002. I could be wrong on the year. But also they knew that I was a big Tiger fan, and I worked my way up. But yeah, so I started as a sports stringer doing high school sports, football, basketball, all that shit. And they asked me if I wanted to cover opening day with the group. And I was like, fuck yeah, of course I do. So we went to Comerica Park. I sat in the what do they call it? I sat by
press box.
The press box, yeah. Do you remember on WJRT TV channel 12? There was a sportscaster named Dick Phelps, I think his name was. I could be wrong on the name, but whatever his name was, he was.
No, his last name was definitely Phelps. It might have been Ed though.
Jim Phelps, something like that. Oh, Ed Phelps, maybe. Yeah, maybe
it was Ed.
Something like that. I could be wrong, but I was sitting right next to him. In the first pitch, Cleveland hit a home run, leadoff home run, and he looked at me and he said, "Best thing about these games are the peanuts." And he slapped this bowl of peanuts at me, and I was like, "Okay." But so we lost. Obviously, we lost the game, and I had to go into the Tigers dugout to interview. No, I had to go in the Cleveland Indians dugout to interview Travis Fryman.
Okay.
Couldn't find him for the life of me, and I'm just a local yokel.
Yeah.
Stumbling around trying to find Travis Fryman. I think at one time I just did this. Travis!
Might as well.
Because I was lost. I didn't know what to do.
Yeah, you yell Travis, he'll yell Fryman, you'll find him.
Travis!
Fryman!
And lo and behold, I swear to you, on my dad's grave, Jim Thome came up to me.
Oh, shit.
And he says, Travis is having dinner. He was hungry after the game.
Okay.
And I don't know if that was true. He just said he's busy. He's eating. And I was like, okay, thank you. Could I get maybe some comments from you? And then this happens, and I've spoken of this moment many times on different podcasts, and it altered my life in a great deal. As I asked Jim Thome if he had any comments about the game, Ellis Burks came out of the shower. And what I thought was a baseball bat was his penis. And I said, I have to go.
Man.
And that's the truth. That's the goddamn truth.
I mean.
Yeah, exactly.
And so ends Dennis' sports career. It was a great dream, but then he saw a penis and it was all over.
No. It wasn't just a penis. The penis looked like a baseball bat.
Oh, well, I mean, I suppose that's appropriate.
Should we cut this out of the first episode of the podcast?
Oh, I don't know. I'll leave that up to you. You're in charge of the editing.
Maybe this goes on to the bonus episode for Patreon subscribers.
Yeah, maybe so.
I think we did good work here, Randy.
I do too. But before we go, Dennis, I want to do one last thing real quick.
All right.
Oh, are you ready to go? Are you like phoning?
No. I'm fine. Okay. I feel as if I ruined the show with my Ellis Burks penis joke, but okay.
Before we go, Dennis, I want to do a thing called Miggy Watch because, God damn it.
Where's he at?
He's at 494 HRs. 39.
Is he going to get it this year? I don't think he's going to.
I'm leaning towards he's not going to, but he should.
Well, yeah, we want him to.
It's only 6, but God damn it.
Is he going to get it at all? Like, if he doesn't get it this season, will he get it next season?
Yes, I think he gets there.
You think he has 6 more in the shell?
Yeah, I think he gets 500 home runs. He's at 2,931 hits, so
61 away from 3,000.
Your math is horrible.
What?
61?
What did you say?
I said 2,931.
That would be 69.
Yeah, it would be 69, not 61.
Oh. I meant 69.
Okay. Of course you did, you fucking pervert. Jesus Christ. Do you think he gets to 3,000 hits?
How many games we got? So tonight was game 100, so we have 62 games left. We said 69 hits?
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. It's going to be tough. I don't think so.
Yeah,
I think he could go on
year.
a tear, too. He could go on a tear.
I mean, he has been a lot better the last few months than he was in the beginning. So.
For sure, yeah. He had that big game a couple days ago against the Rangers where he had 5 RBI. 5 RBIs. And then he had to sit down for a couple days because he was like tired. I don't know, man.
It really breaks my heart. He was my favorite player.
He can still be your favorite player, Randy.
He is, but it just breaks my heart because he should have had he is having an all-time great career, but I expected it to be better than it is.
Okay, so what do you mean? How do you expect it to be better? Because like we just said, he has 494 home runs. He's 69 hits away from 3,000. He's got a world championship, so he doesn't need that. And part of me wonders if maybe he would have been a better player had he not had that world championship with Florida.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know. I know that I see a lot of fun in his face right now, like he's having a good time.
Oh yeah, he looks like he's having a great time. Yeah.
When he blooped that single for the win against Minnesota, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
And the team just like surrounded him. That was the happiest I've seen Miguel Cabrera in a long time. And I think that was a part of the reason why we won like 6 or 7 straight games.
Yeah. But I mean,
we're very lucky. You know, we're extremely lucky to have been able to watch this guy play baseball for like the last 10 years.
Oh, I know.
12 years.
I'm a spoiled and entitled sports fan.
Oh, and I am too. I get on his ass too. Like the dude is like 38 years old. He's hit 494 home runs, and he's given his all. And then when he pops up a ball with 2 on, you're like, God damn it! Why don't you do anything? He's done everything. He's literally done everything.
Yeah, I mean, we got to watch Miguel Cabrera. We got to watch Justin Verlander win a Cy Young and an MVP in the same year.
We've seen a Triple Crown winner in Cabrera.
Yeah.
Verlander wins a Cy Young and an MVP. The one thing we haven't seen is a World Series.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Well, I mean, unless you're old like me. I remember.
Yeah, I mean.
But we had years of winning from 2006 to 2012. We've had it pretty good. The last couple years, not so great.
Yeah.
That's a doing of Dombrowski. Or maybe it's not. Maybe it's just the way that baseball is in this age. I don't know.
Yeah, and I'm looking at Cabrera's stats, and he had obviously the back-to-back MVPs, and he had the 1 year where he was lost out to Josh Hamilton, which was bullshit, and another year where he was a runner-up. So, I mean, he's had an illustrious career.
He's going straight into the Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, his first down year was 2017, where he had 16 home runs and batted .249. And since then, he hasn't really bounced back because of injuries and stuff. But it happens, I guess.
So say you're a general manager for a new franchise baseball team in 2004 or 5 or whatever.
Yeah.
And you have the pick of between Miguel Cabrera or Albert Pujols. Who do you take?
Oh, jeez. I think I would take Cabrera.
I would too. And the reason, I'll give you my reasoning, and you can give me your reasoning if you want to, but he just seems like a better teammate.
Yeah, that's the long and short of it. You can see him out there. He still has fun. Like, there was pictures of him, like, greeting one of the draft picks the Tigers just had, Ty Madden in the dugout, just shaking his hand and stuff. And I mean, that's just a little gesture, but in that kid's mind, it's huge.
For sure.
And that's not something I see Pujols doing at all.
No. Yeah. Pujols had this aura of, I'm better than everybody else in this game.
Yeah, he was like the Terminator or something.
Yeah.
And Miguel is always out there smiling, laughing, having fun.
Pulling people's pants down.
I mean,
possibly
whatever. You got to keep the situation light, right?
Yeah, for sure. Especially when you're losing all the time.
Yeah, I'd have a good time, too, if I was making $30 million a year.
Oh, God.
Constant smile.
If I was making $30 million a year, man, I would drink a lot of beer.
I mean, what else would you do?
I don't know. But this has been the first episode of Long Gone with Dennis and Randy, or Randy and Dennis. We haven't decided which name is going first. Maybe you guys decide. Vote.
Oh, take a vote.
Take a vote, you motherfuckers.
Yeah.
But I had a good time. I hope you had a good time, Randy.
Yeah, I didn't.
Shit.
You did it again, Dennis. You killed another podcast.
Do you like the Lions? Do you like the Pistons or anything like that?
Do I like? Oh, let me tell you about the Lions. Yesterday, in fact, I was in the parking lot of 7-11.
Randy, we're not doing a Lions podcast. It was a joke.
No, you let me tell this story, and I was walking out the door, and some black dude in a junky car stopped and said, "Bro, hey, bro," and I look, and he said, "Do you know you look like Jared Goff?" And I said, "I've never heard that before, but I'll take that compliment." And that gentleman said, "Go Lions." And I said, "Go Lions." And that's who I am. I am Jared Goff, and I am hosting this podcast.
So, thank you for listening to Long Gone with me and Jared Goff, the quarterback from the Detroit Lions.